back in the shed again today, guys. I haven't filmed anything in ages, but there has been a lot happening. To start off with, this car is finished. Skinner has absolutely smashed this. Disco Dave did a heap of the work, and some of his boys. Nearly 400 kilowatts. Crazy. But he's all finished, basically, or this stage. So that is absolutely sick. I can't remember if I said or not what I was doing with the gearbox. So it's a TR6060. I did want to go to sequential dog box. I freaked out because I just realised I knew it was going to be expensive, and it just was going to be crazy expensive. So I still went sequential with that bad boy. So that is an S1 sequential kit, and so I'll give you some more details about that now, but at the moment I'm just putting this on here. As you can see, I'm just holding the engine up there so I can lift the car up in the air and drop the cross member out so I can put on the Wisfab. So I'm really getting into the Wisefab now. I've mocked up this side, which is that's easy. The cross member is the hard stuff. So I'm going to clean the bench up, get all the parts ready, lift this up, drop the cross member. Hopefully the engine doesn't fall out. and I'm also going to put in a baffle in the sump, but I'll show you that in just a moment. So that's the bit that has to be welded into the subframe, but this here is the Tomei baffle for the 1J. I'd never heard of these until I watched a James Dean video, and he used them instead of a dry sump in his engines because of the price point. Obviously it's not a replacement for a dry sump. I mean, it doesn't do the same thing, but it still is extra protection. So I'm going to put that in while I have the subframe out, because it's heaps easier to get the pan off to do that. So I'll probably do this first. So let's get at it. This is probably the scariest thing I've ever done, pulling the subframe out, which is what holds the engine in, while it's being held by that up there. Also, that engine mount is broke all the way through, and so is this one. So, yeah, that's a problem. Luckily I bought new ones. And just like that, she's on. Very simple install. As you can see, it's got some baffle doors. Stop it sloshing around. Excellent. All right, so I've got the racks out. Well, rack. 100 rack. And that's the IS200 rack. And this is the 100 cross member and the IS200 cross member. So they are slightly different, but still I think it'll be okay. These mounting holes are different. That doesn't matter because this one's going back in. The main thing is, I'm pretty sure the rack spacing is the same, so that will work with this. It looks like it should work, I think. So, see you in the next bit. So, I've cut my templates out, and surprise, surprise, it is the same. So, she all lines up basically, which is a huge win. The one thing that is definitely different is these sort of supports in here don't exist in the IS200 ones. As you can see in there, they're not there. So I'm going to have to cut these out because this whole front section basically comes off from this line out. So I'm going to have to cut these out first. So I'm going to get to that. All right, it's all marked out, ready to be chopped, you can see a lot comes out. Now there was a couple differences from the instructions to what I'm doing. Mostly this bit here doesn't exist on this one, and the major one was where are we? This one here. So I'm going to do this one-handed. These bits, you see that ends there, here, there. Whereas on the ICE200, it comes right to the edge. So I've just drawn that line straight to here. Hopefully, I know that means this tab probably isn't going to be long enough, but it has to go straight up from here and then intersect. So I might come off shy from, like, leave a fair bit here when I'm cutting it, so that I can incrementally take some off and not too much. But I think it's ready to go. There we go, people. She's all mounted up. It's pretty good. There's a few spots that are, so obviously here and here are a bit off, which I knew. Remember I was saying that the distance out was a bit different, so I'll just cut down here, put in a bit of something around here and here, but like, it's pretty good for the most part. I'll be able to make it work for sure. So how sick's that? Alright, so as you can see, these spots here aren't close, so I'm making this little piece here that I will just tack there and bend that round into there, made a little template. So the bottom side of it is the bit that didn't work exactly the same, but it's close enough that it's easy to make some little brackets. I just got to make sure it's flat here where the engine mount goes, so it doesn't intrude on that, but pretty simple really. Alright, there it is, all tacked in, bent all around nicely. So I will now bolt the rack on and then weld it all up. Alright, so we've hit the first major problem. This side bolts in, this side has a gap because it's hitting here. I can easily move that and cut some material out so that goes in, but we are getting extremely close to the engine mount and I don't know where that sits. I suppose I could take a bit off the engine mount, but yes, it's got to go in a fair bit. Oh, I will persevere. Alright, I'm going to call it a night. It's so close. I've butchered the engine mount just because I had to. So it's so close, nearly there. As you can see, couple mil, 5 mil. Had to really cut this out just a little bit at a time, and also in here, so getting this fitting in, it's going to be hard. I'll get creative with that, but it's nearly there. You can see that's the distance it needs to go. Anyway, it's bedtime now. Pick it up again tomorrow, hopefully. Alright, day 2 on the Wisfab install. A lot of cutting has taken place, but she's in. So this is for the power steering fitting, so I had to cut this bit out here to get that. And as you can see, the engine mount's been clearanced out a bit there, but she is all in. So now I'm going to tack it. I put foil on here. I don't know if this is dumb. I just didn't want sparks sticking to the rack that were hanging out, so I did that. Time to tack this up, or we'll weld it up actually. Paint it tonight, and then tomorrow I can put it in. Alright, she's all welded in. I'm not the world's best welder, but she will definitely do the trick. Done. Whew. Get some paint on it. Tomorrow, I can put it in the car. She is done. Tomorrow, chuck her in. Put the rack back on. Getting so close. It is finally in, and it took some effort, but I think she's all good. As you can see, got the extension in. That took a little bit of modifying. So this is the LS-200 one. The JZX one has like a little, this little, I don't know, bit coming off there, so I had to cut it off in there, which was slightly difficult. But anyway, I got it, and you can see had to cut a little bit more out to get this in, but got it. So as you can see, she's moved a lot further forwards, but ticking off the jobs. She is in. Whew. There we go, people. The Wisfab is in. Everything is clearing. Like you have to use this little, I know, kind of like a bolt just to clear that. As you can see, the rack is so close to hitting on the cross member, but she is definitely a sweet little kit, that is for sure. Well, not little, it's quite a big kit, but Wisfab is in the JZX, people. So one thing that definitely isn't quite right is the sway bar. As you can see, it's just so far forward. It needs to be, this whole thing needs to be further this way. So I can just unbolt it and move it forward and weld it or put some rib nuts in, and I might do that, but I think for now I'll just run it without a sway bar. I used to drive the Silvia with Wisfab without a sway bar anyway, and I also noticed Wisfab have actually listed on their website now this kit for JZX, and I sent Garage 7 a message from who I bought it through if there was different instructions, and turns out now there is a different sort of manual. Well, it's the same manual, but it has different cutouts. The templates that came with this that I used, it's different for 100. So hopefully I haven't ruined it. So like I think I showed it before, but I'll just do it again. The biggest difference is really this part here, the rack. The rack just hits in everything there. And so I had to do a lot of clearancing to make that work. So hopefully it's fine.